This is Waga. Welcome to the channel. As always, like and subscribe, leave a comment, start the repository on GitHub, just interact. We are going to continue building our app, and what we're going to do today, last time we built in the sign up page, this page here. And this time we're going to build the login page and hook it up to BLoC and all that, and test and make sure it works and this and that and whatnot. Yeah, that's what we're going to do today. As you can see from these two pages, they basically look the same. So we are going to copy a lot of the code and make a few changes. Of course, I know you might be concerned that we did the same with the login state and the sign up state, and we copied, and there were some errors in the first one which we carried over to the second, and we had to fill it out, the errors. It took a bit of time, and yeah, so I believe I had made some errors in the copy with on the sign up. Is it state or event? One of them state. Yeah, so but we fixed them in the last video, in the last few videos, and yeah, so but this approach saves a lot more time, and that's what we're going to go with. Continue with building our application, and as we're building let me just go back to what we're building. As we're building the login form, we come to pages, and we can right click and create a new dart file, and this will be, we could call it login. This is for the login page, and for the login form we could come here, new dart file, and say login form, like so. So we're going to be working on those two. Let me just check. Okay, no, we don't have any errors. So we first come to login form, and login form is going to be a stateful widget because we want to use the controllers, init state, things like that. Fairly straightforward. So for using stateful widgets, as you know, we type stful for our snippets, our code snippets, and we call it login form, like so. And then afterwards we import. Let's give ourselves a bit more real estate. We import, like so. We get Flutter material dat, so all the errors go away. And first, we know our login form is going to take in the user repo, so we could create an instance. We could say user repository, and this is going to be user repository, like so. And then after that, we could just borrow the code. I mean, what's the harm? We could come here and just copy this, and we can close this, we can close this, we can close home, we can close login window, login page. Let's leave it open. So we do that, and instead of sign up form, this is going to be login, like so. And user repository is complaining because I think we haven't brought it in, and now we have user repository here. So this code just says that we are going to pass in the user repository, and it's not going to be null. I have explained it in other places, and basically that's all it does. And when we come to the text editing controllers, what we could do is basically they're exactly the same. We could come here and we could copy the text editing controller and the password editing controller and copy it like so, and come back to our login form and we paste it here. And we have the text editing controller, the email controller, and the password controller, which will govern our fields here. And after that, we are going to get in the, of course, we're going to get the login block, and that's going to be the login block, like so. And after that, we're going to create a getter for the user repository. We could say user repository, and we're going to create a getter for it, and we could say here user repository, and we're going to reach up to get it. So we're going to say widget dot user repository, like so. And yeah, and after that we're going to create basically a method that checks whether or not somebody has written something into our fields in the form. And for that, it's exactly the same as this basically. So we could actually just come here and we could come here and we could copy this. Okay, is populated. We could come and we could copy it, and we could come back here and we could paste it here. We'll check that somebody, a getter that shows that whether somebody has actually, the text is not empty and the password is not empty. Somebody has actually written something in them. And after that, we are going to come back here and we can copy this. Yeah, we can just copy this code. It's more or less the same. We could say instead of is sign up button, this button is login button enabled, and this one is going to be the login state, like so, and is submitting. And so we have that, and after that we are going to have init state. I'm going to make a change in what we have in the sign up form, so we could just type init state. This one will be run before the widget is inflated and put in the widget tree, right? So that's what's the code here. So we could say here, we could provide the login block. The login block is going to be equal to the block provider dot of, and we are going to provide the login block. So this will allow us to have the login block available for all the widgets underneath this in the widget tree, and we're going to give it the context to tell it where it is. So the context, so any widgets below this, and for this we need to implement import BLoC, rather, the BLoC library. Now this is how we did it here. If you come to the sign up form and you have a look, we took the sign up block and we provided the user repository. Now you could do it either way, but this is the way that is currently, let me say it like that, currently favored by the documentation. I just checked the documentation, and this is how they do it in the documentation. Either way works, and like you saw, we were able to log in. Either way works, but this one is the one which is currently given in the documentation. Of course, at the end of it, we will append everything and use and upgrade to Flutter BLoC 4 point whatever it is. It's currently 4.0. I haven't checked recently, but last time I checked, I think 2 days ago, it was 4.0. So for that, after that, we are going to come back here and we are going to copy the two controllers, because this code is more or less the same and there's no need to reinvent the wheel. The Sumerians already did it. And we are getting these errors because these methods are not created. And to create this, basically, is we could come down here and we could, okay, I put them here. So we could just copy this and this too, on email changed and on password changed, like this. And of course, if you want to see this, just go into the various blocks and you can see the events and you can see everything. Now, instead of sign up, we have login, and instead of sign up, we have login, but they're exactly the same. And if you want to confirm, you could come into the blocks, login. We could come to the event and we could say submitted, password changed, email changed. So this is basically where they are, and you could confirm with that. And we're in the login form, right? So we have created these two methods. Yeah, this is the event when the password changes and it's added to the block when somebody types something. This is the same for email. And after that, there is the on form submitted, which is basically, I think it's basically the same, right? Yeah, where is the sign up form? So in the login form, I got rid of where's the sign up form? And we're not going to need the block delegate here. The sign up form is here. So we could, of course, we're going to need the dispose method. So we could copy the dispose method, and it's, the code is exactly the same. So we could come here and we could put the dispose method, and yeah, and yeah, let's do that. Is whenever the password or email changes, we add an event to the login block in order to validate the form and return a new form state, right? That's what we do. So yeah, that's that. And after that, what is the next thing we are going to do? We're going to come back to the sign up form, and I think we have dispose already, and we can now start building it, right? The various we have on form submitted. We have not included on form submitted, so we could copy the on form submitted, come here, and we could say, and instead of sign up block, we could say login, and here we could say login with credentials pressed. I believe that's the correct one. And here is going to be login block, like so. So yeah, so basically that is the on form submitted method. And after that, we're going to use basically the same. We're going to come down here, and the first thing we're going to do is we're going to check on the size, and we're going to get the size from this. So let's just copy the size. Size will enable us to draw widgets according to the size of the screen real estate, right? So we could do that, and we are going to use a block listener like we did with the last one, and a block listener executes like one-time actions in response to state changes. So we use it mainly for things like navigation, or in our case, snark buzz. So yeah, that's basically it. And also, if we are successful, we use a listener method to notify the authentication that the user will have logged in, right? Basically, where we do it here. So in here, we essentially notify the authentication block that a user has logged in. So that is what, let me just confirm with the notes. Yeah, so if that is success, if the state is success, and for example somebody has successfully logged in, that is what we are going to do. If the state is success, yeah, we're going to add use the block provider to access the authentication block, and then we're going to add logged in if the state is success. So basically it's similar to this. So can we copy it, except the difference is I guess I'm just looking to where does this block. Nah, it goes on for too long. Let's just build it from scratch. There are a few changes here and there. We could come here and we could return a block listener. So let's continue. I think we should just move it all to be like this. We should make it all conform to the documentation. This other way works, but I think as BLoC has been changing really quickly, I think from version 1 to 4 went in less than a year or so. So yeah, so let's copy that and come back to our sign up form, and in our sign up form it should work the same, right? We should just do this, Command V, and say sign up BLoC, like so, block provider of sign up BLoC, like so, and we can do that. I could even just get rid of it like so, and we can hit save, and that's the sign up BLoC done. And we can go back to our login form, and that has been sorted. And when it comes to the block listener, when it comes to the block listener, they also propose another way of doing things, right? And yeah, they also propose another way of doing things when it comes to the block listener. And we first get the block listener, and then we pass in the login block and the state. Let's do it their way. The way this other way may work, but no harm trying out something new, right? So we could come here and say block listener, like so, and we pass in the login block and the login state, like so. And after that, we can put a semicolon here. After that, we are going to have the listener, and it's going to take the context and the state, and after that we can have the braces, and then we can check. And we could do the same here. We could just come up here and say sign up BLoC and sign up state, like so. And after that, we're going to come here and say listener, like that. So basically just changing the code and the sign up form like that conforms to the new ways, and it also works basically. And we are up to where as they say, au fait with the changes. Yeah, so let me just check, is it au fait? Well versed, in touch with, yeah, au fait, it's French. Au fait just means well versed and in touch. So we are au fait with the latest changes. Yeah, I learned a bit of French in high school. Anyway, but that is essentially French that was permeated into English, so it's basically English. Yeah, but we're in the login form. Let's continue with what we were building. And first we have to check if the state is failure. And if the state is failure, we would just want to show the snack bar. So we would come here if and just copy if state is failure. Where does it end? Like so. So we could just copy this if state is failure. Copy, come to the login form. If the state is failure scaffold, this is a cascade operator, right? I explained about it in the previous video, and we could have that. And here we say login failed, like so. Quick thing we can fix right now. I know we are fixing a couple of things, and what we could do is we could come here to the state, and the whole point of using a cascade operator is because just before that we're supposed to hide current snack bar, like so that we can call both of this on an object. That's why we're using the cascade operator. I forgot to include this line, hide current snack bar. So yeah, and here we're going to do the same thing. Just add the cascade operator and hide current snack bar, like so. So that if there's a snack bar there, we hide it and then we show this new one. Okay, now we can continue. For now, I think the corrections are more or less in the rear view. Yeah, we have made our pages look more in line with what we expect. Okay, let's continue. And after that, after the state is failure, we should go to the next one is if state is submitting. And for that, we could come here, get a comma, and come down here, and state is submitting, and we can check if state is submitting, and if state is submitting, we could copy this, and why is the dot formatter not cooperating with us? But yeah, if state is submitting, and this is going to have it's going to show the snack bar, and I'm guessing we also have to copy hide the current snack bar here. That was the whole point of using the cascade in the first place, and we could do that like that. And I don't know why it looks so hideous. Let's try and save it. Oh, okay, that formatter is on strike, it looks like it. And yeah, if state is submitting, so we should just check what's it supposed to say? Signing up, logging in. That is the difference, I think. Logging in, like so. We could make it a capital. We could say logging in, like so, and put a circular progress indicator. And after that, of course, we get success. If we're successful, we should just add wait, are we in the login form more? Okay. If the stage is success, we should copy this, come back to the form, and paste it here. What's the problem? Unexpected identifier. Expected to find that extra closing brace, so we can get rid of that, and we should save. and we don't want to pop anything out, so we could get rid of this line, and we need to bring in the authentication block. This code just provides the authentication block and informs it of a logged in event, right? Yeah, so why is it not importing? Yeah, so it has imported like so, and we now we can continue with our, let's see, this one. Yeah, now we can continue. Okay, I think we need one more. Yeah, we need one more of those. Okay, now it works. Okay, now we have all our braces in order. Now we can continue with the block builder, and we can come here, and the child is going to be block builder, and block builder takes a block, and yeah, it's essentially like future builder. It takes in a block and a state, and checking the documentation, you could also do it like, aside from what we did in the sign up form. In fact, we are coming back to the sign up form to just correct it, not correct it, to change it. We could come here and we could say we are passing in the login block and the login state, and when we pass it in, we're going to have a builder, and the builder is going to take the context and the state, like so, and it is going to, why is child complaining? Expected to find, okay, I can put a comma here. Yeah, so yeah, so we could do it like this, and also here we could just pass in the login block and the login state, and when we do that, we are going to get rid of this line like so, and we are going to have a builder, and the builder is going to take the context and the state like so. So we have made changes to our sign up form, and we can go into our login form and the state like that, and we could return essentially, is it going to be the same? I think it's going to be more or less the same. So we are going to return in the login form a single child scroll view, and yeah, a single child scroll view. So we could just return that, return a single child scroll view, come here and return a single child scroll view like so, and then after that we're going to have a container. Where does this container end? It goes, okay, the container is going to have a background color. So yeah, we could just get this container, we could copy this, come back to login form, okay, correct it by putting in one more closing bracket. This is supposed to be a child. Let's just type it out. What the hell? Child. We could say container like so, and the color is going to be color dot let's just get it from the constant. So we could say background color, like so, and we could copy the width and the size. Those ones are more or less straightforward, like so. Copy, come here, paste the width and the size. We could put a semicolon here, and after that we could have a column. The column, where does this column end? Oh, it goes down. Let's just ignore it. Let's get the child is going to be a column, and the column is going to have those two axes and alignments. We could copy this two lines, hit copy, come here, put them, and the children, the columns are going to have children, and it's going to be a text with chill. So we could just copy the text with chill. This center isn't supposed to be too big. We could copy this, so we could come here and could plop this here, and we could copy this chill, and after that we're going to have a container with a divider. After that center, we're going to come here, we're going to have a container with the divider, so we could just copy this container with the divider. Can't, what just, there's a, oh, okay, we also need to make corrections. Okay, we will sort that out in a bit. I see the problem here. It's almost midnight, and clearly I'm getting really tired. I'm making with this mistakes. What we have here, instead of login, this should be sign up in the block builder of the sign up. So you could say sign up. Yeah, that makes one error go away, and this should be sign up state. Okay, guys, this is Waga from the future. The video you're watching was part of a much longer video, and it went too long, especially with all the refactoring that we have been doing, and I decided to split the original video into two. So this is the first part, and yeah, I'll be releasing the next part soon. So thank you for watching. As always, like and subscribe, leave a comment, and you can also start the repository on GitHub.